Hello sewmates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video I'm going to be teaching us how to cut this stylish ruched shoulder under bust basque gown. So if this is something you would like, I'm going to be teaching the step-by-step process. So now let's get right into it, guys. So I've gone ahead to mark horizontal lines, the shoulder line, chest line, under bust and waistline. I really do not need the chest line though. So I have the zipper allowance there, which is about 1.5 inches. So the reason I did the zipper allowance there is because I'll be plotting the front and the back panel together so that we don't make mistakes. Do you get? So now the neck width I use for the front is 3 inches and the neck depth is 3 inches for the front. So the back also is 1 inch for the neck depth and 3 inches for the width. So now I want you to take note of something. When you connect the points of your neckline together for the front panel, take your tape rule and measure what you have around it. You multiply it by 2. The same thing for the back. Whatever you have around, you multiply it by 2 and note it down. Just note it down. Do you understand? Just note what you have down. There's a reason for it. So I'm just going to be marking, probably I think I marked about 9 inches or 8 inches. Then I came down by 1 inch for shoulder slope. Just do it this way. Then to determine the opening of the sleeve, I used about 9 inches. Do you get? Then you rule a straight line across, just as you can see. Then you rule a straight line inward a little bit, just like this. So on that line that you rule inward, you can just mark 1 inch. You are going to be connecting that point to the underbust line, just like this. Just connect it this way to just serve as your armhole. Do you get? Just connect it this way. So next up, you are going to be placing your your underbust measurement after the zipper allowance, then your waist measurement after the zipper allowance. So whatever you have, divided by 4. So now for your backs, so I'm using about 4 inches for the backs. Depends on how long you want the backs to be. So you connect it to this point. So I'm extending this line like this because that's for the back. So you just go ahead and label your patterns, because the front pattern, the upper part of this style has two sides for the upper part, which is the front I marked A and the front I marked B. Now let's do a little bit of calculation for the gown length. That's the remaining part of the length. Let's assume that the gown length that you are working with is 16 inches in total. Is 16 inches and your half length is 16 inches. Do you understand? So the length that you'll be adding from your backs, from your waistline all the way down, so you just say 60 inches minus 16 will give you 46. So 46 plus your joining around the waistline and any minute at the bottom, you add those inches to it as well. So that will serve as the length. And the width that you are going to use, it depends on how much fullness you want around the back waistline. It depends on how much fullness. You can just measure around the back waistline and multiply by 3 or 4. It just depends on you. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. I'm just going to cut this open. So before I continue cutting, remember I cut out the front and back pattern paper the same together. So I'm going to use the tracing wheel to just trace out this zipper allowance. So it's going to appear, the line is going to appear on the paper underneath it. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut, just as you can see. So now I remember something. So before I continue cutting, so around the waistline of this style, around the underbust is not straight. It's not straight. It went up a little bit. So now on the waistline, on the underbust, on the center side like this, I'm going to go up by 1 inch where I placed my hand. Then I'm going to take my ruler, the curvy part of my ruler, then just slant it this way. Just as you can see, it has a little bit of design around the underbust. So this is what we have. So I'm going to go ahead and continue cutting. Bear in mind that we are doing slash and spread method. We're using slash and spread method, and the reason for using slash and spread method is because of the neckline. the neckline, yes, there's a bit of like gathers around the neckline, so that's like the reason that you should do a slash and spread method, and that is one of the reason I told you to note the neckline down. The neckline, when you measure your neck width and your neck depth, by the time you curve it, whatever you have, measure it and note it down for the front and the back. Whatever you measured is into half, so when you multiply it by 2, it gives you the full round neck. Do you get? So now this is the back pattern, the upper part and the middle part of the back, and this is the front pattern, the upper part and the middle part for the front pattern. Like I said, we are using slash and spread. So now what you are going to do is you are going to be rolling straight line across on your front pattern piece of paper. That's the upper part, just like this. Then you go ahead and label it 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So next up, you cut through just as you can see. You go ahead and continue the process up to where you get to the last part. So guys, if this is something you like, don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, comment, like and share. So now this is what you have. So you go ahead and take a new pattern paper, just as you can see. So you arrange it from the first piece this way. Just make sure you arrange it this way. Then you go ahead and place the second piece. Then you run the entire process all through. So remember that there was a line. You can see there's a pencil line. To have a straight line, you can just follow that pencil line. Like to have a straight line all across, you can actually follow that line. Next up, you determine the spacing you want to have, like how much fullness, like how full you want the fabric to be, how ruched you want it to be. So you determine the spacing. This way you can add 1 inch, 1.5. It depends on what you want for yourself. Do you get? So then you add your sewing allowances around. The reason why I'm not doing this because I want to use this pattern paper underneath it to show you the back. So now around the waistline or around the other bust line of this, you're going to be doing a form of gathers. Then is gathers that you're going to be attaching to the underbust. Do you get? You'll be using gathers for the underbust. So this is for the back pattern. So I've also gone ahead to use straight line as well for the back pattern. So now the actual straight line is starting from the zipper line, just as you can see. You roll it this way, then you label it. So I noticed I started labeling from the zipper line, which is wrong. So you label it from after the zipper line, so you can see. So next up, you go ahead and split it open. You split the first part open with the zipper. Do you get? You split the first part open with the zipper allowance, just like this, just as you can see. So then you get your pattern paper like this, then you arrange it all across. Then you determine the spacing. Just ensure that whatever spacing you are using for the front or whatever width you have for the front is the same width for the back, so that everything will align together by the time you are sewing. And you are going to be cutting out 2 pieces for the back. Same way you have your gathers around the other bust, then you attach it to the second part, to this second piece. So now remember I told you to note this part of the neckline. So you just take your tape rule and measure it this way. So whatever you have, you multiply by 2. The reason why I'm multiplying it by 2 is that there's already space in here that you cut. So by the time you are going to sew it, you will know how you are going to do the gathers that will be on that measurement. Do you understand? You know how you are going to do the gathers that by the time you ruche it together, it's going to fall on the exact measurement that you measured. Maybe assuming you have 5, you know that all around is going to be 10. So by the time you do the ruchness, by the time you draw the gathers, it's going to fall to that measurement that you use around the neckline. So same thing with the back as well. You measure what you have. You measure what you have for the back. You multiply by 2 minus the zipper allowance. So whatever ruchness that you have there, You get, so you just draw it to the neckline that you marked. Do you understand? You draw it to the neckline that you mark. So basically that's just it. Then you attach your gathers, you do your gathers, you do your gathers, then you join it around the back waistline when you have gotten your desired length and your desired width for the back waistline. So now, yeah, so that's basically it. So that's all, guys. So now this one, let's just use the back. So now this is the back. It's the same thing you do for the front. By the time you draw your gathers for the back, like by the time you draw your gathers for the back around this space, you are going to be drawing your gathers. By the time you've drawn it, remember that you can see this is like one piece. So whatever you draw, you are going to measure what you have here. You draw it to fit in to what you have around here. You draw it to fit in through what you have around here. Same thing for the front. Whatever, because it's gathers, you draw your gathers to fit in what you have around to fit in the measurements you have around the underbust. You get. So now for the back waistline, for this line, for the backs, you determine you've already determined your length. Then you determine how much ruchness you want for the backs. You get. You determine how much ruchness you want for the backs. So by the time you determine that, whatever is the width that you are using is what you are going to be placing around here for the two sides and for the front, all around it. So that's just it. We have come to the end of this tutorial, guys.